And today we are going to see banking system function and DBs. See, we know banks are often a huge part of our life. How banking system functions, to this, we have many answers. But what we are going to know from our prominent alumni, Mr. K.M. Manoj Kumar, Senior Analyst, Mainframe DBA, is something different. Yes, it's about the technology. What database does bank use? How a bank database works? A lot more. Welcome, Manoj Kumar, and over to you.
Good morning.
Good
Hi
morning.
everyone. Good morning to everyone. Hope you're all doing safe on this pandemic situation. Hope for the good thing. And moreover, today I'm just going to explain you about how the banking systems has been incorporated in our day-to-day life and how we are using it and how these technologies playing a role in our day-to-day life, even in the small things that we are going to have. And another thing, if someone has any query or whatever it is, you can just raise your hands or you can just post the uh, message in the chat box or whatever it is. I am ready to just explain that issue or the query what you have in a technical way, so that I feel that it should be a good session for us. And moreover, if you feel shy to ask something or if you cannot express something on English or whatever it is, you can come up with your own language and just request me or just ask me about the queries what you have. So hope we can go into the session. So what I'm going to explain today is the banking system, and also the one another thing. I doesn't want to present all these PPTs or just like that to boring the session. Just wanted everyone to discuss what we are doing, because if I'm going to say something, if you are going to discuss with me, then it would be a very useful for everyone. And moreover, I doesn't want to bore you people by presenting the PPT and saying in a usual manner or just making it as a studious thing. Let us be practical on this, and then let us get to know something. Even I can learn something from you people. Depends upon your questions. So I really welcome you all for questioning me. Please do not hesitate to question me. Okay. Yeah. The first thing is banking system and how it is working. See, if we're going to take a bank, it has a number of sections in it, like loan section and as well as savings, etc., and statements and mortgages, everything. So it's all depends upon the bank, and all these things would differ bank to bank. Okay, so if you're going to take, for example, if we take two banks, say Citibank and as well as the Indian Bank. The Indian banks are nationalized bank and Citibank are different bank from different country. That doesn't hold the guidelines what the Indian bank holds, and also the Indian bank doesn't hold the. I'm just saying for an example, it's just for an example, and the Indian bank doesn't hold the guidelines what it is being followed by the Citibank. Okay, let us go. And also, we also know each bank will be providing a different kind of facilities for the end users. For say, Indian Bank would give a loan for around 5%, or the Citibank would provide loan for 4%. It all depends upon their I mean, the economical status and as well as how the back end function is being used by them and how they do collect the information, I mean, the money from the people. It all depends upon that. Okay, all these things are depends upon the front end. And now let's see what is happening in the back end. Okay, as I said, we have a different sections of banking, like mortgages, loans, savings, statements, retails, commercial, etc., etc. It all owns their own applications to function. Note my point. It all owns the different applications to um, provide the different functions to provide the application what they are working on. Okay, the very mainly 90 percentage of the entire world. Okay, the bank which the 90% of the bank in the entire world depends upon the mainframe. Do you know about mainframe? What is mainframe, and what do you know about mainframe computers or mainframe systems? Anything? If you can just drop me in the chat or You can just let me know what it is if you know. Okay. Let us go into the actual session. Okay. What are the technologies being used in the banking? So we can, as I said, 90% of the banking and insurance sectors are depends upon the mainframe. The only reason why they are using the mainframe is the security ability of the mainframe server to handle the data and processing the data. And the most and main thing is the security. Security is the main thing which is playing a main role on using the mainframe systems in banking domain. Okay. Apart from mainframe, we have a number of technologies being used in it, like Oracle, Teradata, um, and these are all the DBs, Oracle, Teradata, and then if you go upon the other technology like the Unix, Linux, these are all flavors of Unix. Even all these things play a main role in uh, banking. Here we have an uh, standard system and distributed system. What is standard system means? It holds the entire data of the bank. And distributed systems depends upon the different sections what the bank going to work on. As I said earlier, the banking cards, credit cards, we can say these consider these things as distributed because those are all the informations that is public, and also we can say it's not most public. We can say that isn't public since because it has been being transferred to the customer via some platform. Okay, but if you're going to take the actual data, they are all very secure, and those data shouldn't be leaked out to anyone. Okay. For example, if you're going to hold for, I mean, if you're going to hold an account with some crore rupees, then it should not be leaked out to others. And they shouldn't know what is the account details, what you have, and what is the exact amount which you hold in your banking savings, something like that. So, because to maintain these things, we need a security. So that is the reason we go for mainframe, and also we came to know, we have seen many movies that they are transacting the data from, I mean, transacting the money from one bank to other bank. It's all done via like the same hacking system that is not applicable in mainframe. So as far as now, we hold each and every data and as well as the money in a secure manner only with the help of mainframe. Okay. If you're going to take about something like the technical actions, what we are doing, the technical actions means we used to run n number of jobs to attain the applications and the features what we are doing in a day-to-day life. Okay, for example, uh, I would give you an example. For example, we'll be having ATM card and then we just go into the ATM and draw money, whatever we need. We just withdraw the money, whatever the amount we need. Okay, so how this function works? Mainly, if you're going to draw some amount from ATM, you will get the amount and as well as the receipt for that. Okay, and later on, what you will get some text messages in your mobile stating that you have been debited with so and so. As I said earlier, there is a list of jobs which will be running in background. So these all the jobs will be running in production. Production in the sense in a daily routine, all these jobs will be in a ready manner to get executed. So once you just withdraw the amount, okay, so it will say that it will just pass on information via that base 24 and tandem, that is the another technology used in ATM systems, which will be giving the ATMs, which will be giving the information to the other distributed system under the server, stating that so and so account card has been debited with so and so amount. Then it will be automatically updated in the database. The database will reduce the amount or increase the amount depends upon the debit or credit, and those informations will be sent to the another job, will be sent via the another job to the end user stating that you have been debited or credited so and so amount. So these are all the these are all the actions which is being done by the jobs which run in a daily, which actually runs in the production. Okay, this is the brief information about how the jobs which run in background works. This is one of the example what I am giving you. Okay, And another thing, also you would get messages like you are if you're going to create a new account. If I'm going to add, you will be having each, I mean, the account number in a unique manner, and your name also differs. So if you're going to add that specific account number into the database, and the job which will be running in a day-to-day manner, it will just fetch the newly created accounts from the database, and then it will send out to the specific number, I mean the people's number, to text them that your account has been created successfully. All these the minor changes, or what all the things which we face in a daily basis, okay, are all done by the backend jobs. Okay, and you would ask me like I am expecting the question that what are these jobs and how these jobs are running in background, who run these jobs, and how these things has been maintained, and how what is the database which is being used, and how it is being updated, and what are the jobs and how these jobs are being run, and what is the vehicle for running these jobs. I think that this would be the question what will be in your mind. I can answer that. If you're going to take a banking system, you would be having a different teams working for the banking system. One would be like in a form. I'm just saying we have a number of teams which working for a banking system. I would just say few examples which all the team being involved during all this process. Okay, and who are responsible for creating all these processes. Okay, for example, if you take a company, we'll be having like a number of developers, testers, DBA, support team, services, etc, etc. And I just need to inform you the another information here, just point out the information. Even though we have a bank, if you're going to attain these kind of actions in your day-to-day life, it has to be done by some team. Okay, okay, it has to be done by some team. Okay, that will be provided by the service providers. Who is the service provider here? That is our IT companies. We can say it can be a Cognizant or Wipro or Tata Consultancies or Sintel or whatever it is, etc., etc. It depends upon the client. And for say, if you are working in a Citibank, he is a client for Cognizant Technology Solutions. Okay, and Cognizant Technology Solutions are service providers and the vendors who help Citibank to create all these jobs and develop these jobs and test these jobs and bring back them to the production for the customer usage. The customer usage is nothing but what we are doing in our day-to-day life, like remitting or debiting or crediting all those cashes, or if you're going to take a loan, it would update it in our database. This is a loan database where the our accounting details will be updated over. These are all different parts, and the common basic thing is like um, how these jobs are running. Okay, let us go into the list of teams which are being involved in attaining these kind of actions in the backend. I would say there are some important teams which will be used, like development team, testing team, DBA team, support team, and then service testing. Because I would give you an example. The bank say that you are eligible of uh, getting around 5 rupees in I mean as a gift if you draw around 50,000 rupees from the ATM. So this is the some, like I can say, this is the future that is being provided by the bank to the end user. They say that if you draw some 50,000 rupees from ATM, you would get 5 rupees will be credited into your account. How this thing is being uh, developed in the backend. Okay, so if these things are being notified by the bank to the customers, they will also send a requirement plans to the developers and the planning team. The planning team would say that these are all our requirements which has to be provided for our end users. So we are going to give 5 rupees in a free for each and every customers who going to draw amount of 50,000 rupees. Just for an example, I'm saying this. Okay, so the developer will be writing a code or a program in the backend stating that if so and so account number is getting or draw, it doesn't matter that a person going to draw the amount. It matters that the account number which is being drawing that amount will be credited with the so and so ₹5 or whatever it is, the gift amount which is being provided by the bank. All these programming informations will be developed by the developer. The next thing is the testers. The testers are the person who test these, the functionality which is being given by the developer. Okay, so they would just have the dummy data or some rough data in a testing environment, and they will test like if we going to draw like they will attain they will test by just drawing the amount from the dummy table, and then they will check whether the amount is being updated by the specific another job or not. All these job will be created by the developers. Okay, and the data which are being used for this program or to attain this function will be maintained by the DBA, and also the DBA are the database administrators who hold all the informations, the customer information or the accounting information, everything in the table, and it is being maintained by the DBA, and all these things will be stored in the database. Okay, and we have another team called support team over here. The support team is something nothing but they help the testers and developers to resolve the issues, or they are the team which maintains the vehicle that is going to run all these jobs in the testing environment or production environment or whatever it is. Okay. If we have no issues, then the code will be uh, approved, and then they will be moved into the production for the customer usage. If in case there is some issue with the program code, okay, then there will be a defect raised by the testing team. If not, the support team couldn't resolve that issue from their end, okay, there will be some minor issues will also arise during all this batch execution or job running. Okay. But if something that cannot be solved by the supporting team, they will just revert back it to the test team, stating that these are all the issues that we cannot work on it, and this has to be checked by the developer. So here and there, the test team will raise a defect and stating that this is the bug what we found in our programming. So you need to help us on resolving it. So again, the developer goes and goes to developer, and developer just changes all this code accordingly, and then he will give the new fresh code to test. And if the testing is successful, then it will be moved to the production. Now we come to the another team called service desk. Usually we used to call all this like the customer care, right? So we can consider them as a service desk. They should have some amount of technical knowledge, like what is the issue that we are providing to them, because those are all the team says that, for example, uh, we would not get the amount from the ATM, but we would get the message stating that you had been I mean debited with so and so amount. So this is the defect what we face in our life. The account will the money will be debited from the bank account, and also in our daily period. Yeah. Okay. In our daily usage, we'll be using all this Google Pay or Phone Pay, whatever it is. It would say that if you're going to send some amount to the friends or whomever it is, it will say that, like for example, the ₹100 has been debited from your account, but the another end user would not receive that amount. So here is the bug. Okay, so what we do is there will be some information like if you need to raise a dispute, click this button. So what it will do, it will raise a dispute that and then it will go and ask the questions like the account has been debited, but we couldn't get the exact information. So these are all the things will be happen. So what you will be doing, you just click on the dispute and state that the account, the amount has been deducted from the account, but it not been transferred to the so and so people. Again, those informations will be received by the service desk team. So they will just check on the issue and process it, and they will raise a ticket like INC, that are incident tickets or some request tickets to the testing or support team. If that is something within the support team's, uh, what I can say, within their scope, they can work on it. If not, it will be moved to the development. I'm just saying this for us an examples, okay? Because since there is a defect with the code which is already running in production, stating that if you're going to remove the amount, it has to send a message. If not, it should be right. it has sent the message instead before we are getting draw the amount from the account, right? So these are all the team which involved in banking. I'm just saying it as for an example, and this will be vary for each and every bank, and also it depends upon the functionality of the bank. Just for an understanding case, I'm saying you this. Okay, right. Next we can go to the other set, like what is mainframe and how it is being used in the banking system. As I said, mainframe is a very secured system where we cannot hack, or we had seen many cinemas like stating they're transferring the amount from one account to another account by doing hacking or something. That is not achieved in this mainframe. Okay, all the files are secured files. We cannot even hack them. Okay, and moreover, what are all the data which is being used in the banking side? We can say like online customer information files, that is OSIS file. They would specify as OSIS file, that is online customer information files, which contain the customer data, like what is the name of customer, what is the account number the customer holds, and how much amount he hold in the account. And each and every account will be linked to the different set of um, the loaning, the loan account or whatever it is. Even all those informations will be stored in the customer information, that is online customer information files. So this is the one of the file, and all these informations will be stored in the DB, that is the table, where the table exists in the DB database. Okay, and the database which will be used in the mainframe is DB2 database, which which will be used for processing the data in the mainframe server is DB2. Okay, and DB2 database has the vast and the more number of storage area to store the informations, and they are very secure. Okay, okay. And the other thing is like we have, and as I said earlier, we have a different set of systems, like distributed systems. Distributed systems are nothing but they are the other kind of functionalities will be attained from all these kind of distributed system, because even though if those data has been hacked, there is no impact for the account or the amount in the account. Okay, so in that case we will be using the distributed system. Okay, okay. Next, so that is we can consider them as a group data warehouse. Okay. Usually, if we take one of the one of the bank which I was working, used Teradata as another database to store the information. To retrieve the information from the mainframe table and store it into the Teradata table. So it depends upon the banking. Okay, and as I stated earlier, we'll be having the different type of schedulers which is being used for running all those jobs. For example, if you're going to take some mainframe jobs, mainframe is considered of a number of the program or the script which runs in the mainframe is the JCL, and the program which is being used in the JCL program is JCL script is COBOL. You can say that is a COBOL. COBOL is the COBOL programming will be developed by the developers, and they used to specify the requirements and how the functionality has to be worked. Everything will be given by the COBOL developer, and that will be run with the help of the JCL scripts. Okay, and how these JCL scripts will be running? These JCL scripts will be running via a number of schedulers. So I gave you one example, right? Like if you're going to draw an amount from the database, and then you will get um, the text message in back stating that you had been remitted with so and so amount, or you have been debited with so and so amount. Here, one job will be written for something like if you're going to draw an amount, it will go and update the table. So that is one job. The other job will be sending you the message. So how these job need to be run, the manner in which this job has to be executed in the production will be decided with the help of the schedulers. It will state that which job should precede which job and which job has to be succeeded by the other job. as I said the example, if you're going to take the amount, I mean, debit the amount from the ATM, the first job will say that the amount has to be debited. The next job which has to run is, since the amount has been debited, you have to send a message to the customer. So the another job has to be executed. So the first job is for debiting the amount, and the second job is for sending the message. So the job A is a successor, I mean, the predecessor for the job B. Okay, because those two jobs own their functional working, like how it has to be executed. So all these things will be built with the help of some schedulers. The schedulers, some of the scheduler which is being used in the banking sector, like the two mainly in the mainframe systems are uh, CA7, OPC, I mean TWS OPC, and then Tivoli workload scheduler is the TWS OPC, and then Autosys is different type of tool, and then the controller. The most mainly used is CA7 and as well as OPC and controller. These are all the scheduling tools which is being used for running all those jobs in the production or testing environment, whatever it is, depends upon the functionality. The job will be built. And if you take CA7, it is job dependent scheduler. Okay. We will be assigning which job has to be executed next to the which job, or which job should not run before so and so job will begin. For example, if we have A, B, C, D, four jobs, okay, we are in a requirement that A has to be run before C, and C has to be executed before D, but B can, and C and D are not dependent to the job B. So it states that once A is done, C also can run, B also can. So we can just create the scheduling according to the thing what we are executing. Okay. So these are all the dependencies will be set for the jobs, and that can be achieved by using the schedulers. And we have something called TWS OPC, which will be having the applications. So here we have a list of applications. The list of applications will be having the list of jobs which need to be run, and they are interdependent. Okay, and with the help of this OPC, it's not needed that we can run only the job which is executing the mainframe. We can also run the job which has to be executed in some other system, some other server like Unix server or Linux server or AX server, whatever it is, that can be achieved with the help of OPC schedule. Hope you can understand. If there is any question, please raise it. Um, these are all the common things which will be happening over there. Any queries on this, please? If you have any queries, please you can pitch in, or if you say that I cannot understand you means also you can say me, can explain you accordingly. Is there any query, anything?
Participants, if you have any queries, please put it in the chat box.
Or else you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Okay. They can raise the hands, right? Or they can put it in the chat box so that Jay can unmute them. Okay. Hope these are all the basic things which is being covered, and I would like to relate two of our sessions which has been happened in earlier days. Like yesterday we had a session about the ETL, that is the ETL testing, the transformation load testing, which is being explained by Varalakshmi, right? Yeah, it's Varalakshmi. And we had another session about the big data, which has been said by Mr. Prem, I guess. So how we are going to relate this in the banking system? Okay. So as I said, the mainframe will be holding all those entire customer information. That is the online customer information system will be stored in the mainframe database. That is into the DB2 database. With the help of all these, see, if we go into the backend process, it is not necessary that or every job has to be executed. Okay, unless until it is a production, it is not necessary that every job has to be executed in the specific project or whatever it is. For example, this is the one of the process which is being followed in the one of the bank where I was working. Okay, I'm just going to brief about the criteria what it is there. Um, I will relate this with then the real-time experience. So we will be requesting for statements, right? The monthly statements, how much we spent, uh, what are all the spendings and expenditure what we had in earlier days, and if we get to know the transaction details, we would go for the statements. That is the monthly statement, and it also requests for the uh, time period from when to when we need the uh, statements for our specific account details. Okay, right. Um, and also I'm going to relate the information what has been, I mean, the previous sessions which have been shared by Lakshmi as well. That is ETL and as well as the big data. Okay, so initially the data will be processed from the mainframe DB2 database. This is one of the function which is being followed in the bank where I work. The information should be processed in the DB2 table, that is the mainframe table, and then they will be bringing back to the mainframe files. Uh, that is a mainframe files. We can say like the VSAM files or non-VSAM files. Those are the kind of files which is being used in the mainframe server for storage purpose or to store the data in. They all those data will be fetched into the mainframe system, and then they will be processed. And what this file contains means it will say that these are all the transactions which has been happened this specific amount. If you are going to remit the amount or debit the amount, it will be stored in the different set of files in the mainframe files or in the database itself. Even the database holds those informations, and then it will be sent to the one of the files in the mainframe. Okay, so once after processing these files, we'll be having an different set of jobs which will move all this information to the distributed system. I can say we can execute the Teradata queries. I don't find that how far it can be attained in different set of databases, but as in real-time experience, what I'm saying is the Teradata queries can be executed in the mainframe. Uh, I mean mainframe server to load the data into the Teradata systems. So what I'm doing is I'm fetching the information from DB2 database. I'm just interrelating the databases here and also explaining how your statement is being produced if you are going to request them. Okay. It will fetch the information from mainframe database and then it will process in the same mainframe server to load them into the Teradata database. Here we have a special option called log on option, okay, in our mainframe server, and with the help of the mainframe JCL script we are going to load these data from the DB2 to the Teradata table. The queries will be written in the JCL script to load the data from so and so file to the, I mean, from the data will be extracted from mainframe files to, I mean, mainframe database to the files, and the files will be loading the data into the Teradata systems. Okay, so the main challenge is like as far as I see, we cannot fetch this information uh, directly from. Again, we have to go for. We can do it. We have to transform that mainframe files to the actual text files or XML, whatever it is. And those are the things which will be done in background. Instead of going in very distant manner, we just going to load them directly in the Teradata. What the Teradata system do? Once it is loaded into the Teradata, we have all these ETL tools for uh, just processing all these informations and send to the different set of databases which is being used for different type of functions that we consumers use in day-to-day life. I said that if you're going to request for a statement, it will come to the some distributed system. These are distributed systems like Teradata, Oracle, or so on and so forth. With the help of this ETL, all these are considered to be a distributed system. Okay, so this ETL will fetch the information from the Teradata in XML format or whatever it is, or even we can give the input as an, input as an file format, the XML format or whatever it is. It will fetch those information and then process it, and it will send to your mail as in stating that this is your monthly statement. You got it? How the ETL is being used in the banking sector. This is one of the application which is being attained with the help of ETL. The ETL are different types, as Lakshmi said. It depends upon the tool which we use. There is Informatica, Abnitio, and Data Stage. Data Stage is the tool which has been developed by the IBM. I think uh, Data Stage 11.1 was the earliest thing which I was worked before a couple of years, but maybe it would have been updated to right from data stage 7. I was working until database 11, data stage 11 in the ETL tool. Okay, all these kind of ETL tools will be used for processing and then sending the information in the file format to the end users. So this is how we receive the statements. Is that clear for you, or if you want me to explain you in a clear manner, anything you can just put up your hands, or you can just drop your queries in the chat box so that I can explain you. Please do not hesitate. Can we proceed? Okay, let us proceed. Then, while I was saying about the list of teams, the group of teams which work for the uh, banking sectors, like development team, testing team, supporter team, DBA team, service test team. Okay, so now we can come how these complaints are registered to the bank database. Okay, so we just take a phone and then ring to the customer care and say that these are all the issues I've been facing and my card has been logged out, whatever it is. Okay, so here what we do is, for an example, I'm saying this. We have some ticketing tools like ServiceNow, ClearQuest, and these are all the main kind of tools which is being used for raising the tickets for the incidents. We can say if there is some issue with some programming or whatever it is happening, even the testers or the service test people who they find that they will be just raise and ticket called incident or request or whatever it is. Depends upon the tool which we have. So I just wanted to say this because just to make you aware that we have some ticketing tool used for uh, storing the informations about the issues what we are facing. Okay, and even these tools are used internally between the development team or testing team or support team. And also these ticketing tools are provided to them to make a note that so and so issues has been resolved by so and so team within the period of time. And also it is the proof that stating we have been raised a ticket for so and so issue that has to be completed by the support team. It will be raised by the testing team or the other set of team who are in need of the resolution. Okay, they will send it to the support team or even to the development teams, just to backtrack it. What is the issue and where is the mm, level of issues being resolved and where the issue exactly persists currently. Okay, so with the help of these tickets, we can ensure that the percentage of resolution has been given to the issue. For example, some with the help of this ticket, we can assign the time period for that. So if you're going to take it as an P1 ticket, it has to be resolved within 15 to half an hour. So the criticality of the ticket will be very high. Okay. And if you're going to P2 ticket, it can be resolved within 4 or 5 hours. And if it's a P3 or P4 tickets, it may take 24 hours or 48 hours. Within that specified time limit, the corresponding team which is being assigned has to complete the issue or they have to provide the resolution for that issue. Okay. So just for an information, I said that This is the way how we used to communicate and get the team aware what is the issue and what the resolution has to be given for them. Okay, fine. And the next thing is what is DB2 and how we use the DB2 tables. What we are going to, because why I said all these informations in prior means you would get to know how the data will be stored in the DB2 table or whatever the database we are using. Okay, initially I can say you that the list of databases that will be used in our banking sector. Okay, many databases will be used for different functionalities. Okay. For example, if I'm going to take DB2, Oracle, Teradata, Big Data, Hadoop, and SQL DB or MongoDB or Cassandra DB, these are all the different set of DBs which is available in the market. I would repeat this: DB2, Oracle, Teradata, Big Data, SQL, MongoDB, Cassandra DB. I guess that I have specified Oracle too. Okay, so these are all the different set of database which runs on different platforms. Okay, for example, if you take Oracle database, it will be running on Unix, uh, Linux, AX servers. Okay, that is a platform that they used to run. If you take DB2 database, that is specially meant for the mainframe servers, where the mainframe processing, I mean the files or data which need to be processed in the mainframe will be stored in the DB2. And also, we can create the interrelation or we can connect these two database with the help of some functionalities. Okay, we can connect two different set of database with the help of the some tools like Oracle Golden Gate. It is a software product that allow us to replicate, filter, and transform the data from one database to the another database. Okay, this is Golden Gate. Golden Gate is the thing which is widely used in the Oracle and connecting the Oracle and as well as the DB2. Why I'm saying this? This is the real-time experience where I worked for. Okay. What this Golden Gate will do? So I'm having some information A in the DB2, and I need to replicate the same information in the Oracle database too for fetching those data for the different type of functionality that is being used. For example, if you're going to create an account, okay, or if you're going to debit an amount from the account, those informations can be retrieved from DB2 and as well as from the Oracle. So if you are going to run some jobs, and also here we come across the cost effectiveness. We're going to use the mainframe is cost effective while comparing to the other set of jobs which is run in the different databases. Okay, since because if you're going to process some information with the help of the DB2, for the minor things we need to spend a lot, but those minor things can be attained in the different set of DBs by spending low cost. So the information which is available here has to be available in the different DB to provide the information to the end users. Okay, so we have something called Golden Gate, which will replicate the information what is available in this and then to the other database, or say it is an Oracle. So we would say that the data are in sync. The data are in sync. The exact replica of the data which is being available in the mainframe is available in the Oracle too. But here we need to be cautious on security. So because the informations are being and also there is an limitations for what data can be replicated from so and so DB to the different DB. Got it? Hope you can understand this. What is Golden Gate? Because why I'm saying about this Golden Gate is the main. I mean, one of the uh, very latest thing which has been widely used in the market, and also we have a number of opportunities for this Golden Gate, which runs on the AX or Linux platform. Mostly we use this in the Oracle databases, where the Oracle databases we have uh, two different kind of things, which is extract and replica, which transform the information from one database to another database, just to make ensure that the data are in sync, and as well as it will just update the data whatever it is available in the one DB to the another DB. I hope that I have given the real-time experience also, since because we're going to run a job or retrieve data in different servers. Each servers would differ in cost, because if you're going to do something, for example, um, anyhow, if you're going to travel from one place to another place, we can go by auto and as well as by cab. Okay, so going to book cab, it would be around 200 rupees. If you're going by auto, then it is 100. Anyway, we are going to just reach the destination. Our motto is to reach the destination. Okay. Here in Wise, if there is no option, we can go for cab. Something option called auto is there. So here we consider about the cost effectiveness. So that is why we are choosing the auto. Okay, so that is the same example which are going to do some functionality with the help of mainframe server. It is cost effective. Well, comparing to mainframe, we have a different set of servers where we can attain the same functionality in a low cost. I'm just giving you an example for this. So this is how we use this thing for replication, and the Golden Gate will be used for replication. Okay, so here we can interrelate two DBs with the help of Golden Gate. So that is what I need to uh, just deliver you. Okay, now we can step into the DB2. What is DB2? DB2 is the database which is being used in the mainframe server to store the data. Okay, how the data will be stored in the DB2. We have some logical spaces where we can store the customer data or whatever it is that we need to be stored in the databases, and moreover this has to be in a very secured manner. This data has to be in a secured manner. So that is why people used to, most of the bank depends upon the mainframe, since because mainframe is very secure. They go for storing the information into the database, I mean the DB2 database. Okay, what this DB2 database comprises of? They have different set of storage groups, and then the databases, and then the table spaces, and the tables, and as well as the index, and then all those other plan packages, everything. I doesn't want to go in depth, but I can just give you an overview on this DB2, how the DB2 is being used. If you're going in depth, it will be an interesting session, how the DB works and how the data are being stored in DB, and what all the kind of table spaces and the table, how these tables stores the data, and uh, what is the format is being stored. Everything will be interesting, but still, due to the time constraints, I just going to give you an overview of the DB2. So as I said, DB2 will comprises of storage groups, databases, and then this is the hierarchy how uh, the data, I mean the data will be stored in the data, I mean DB2 database. So we have storage groups. In storage group, we will be having a different set of DBs, that is the databases. In the database, we have a different set of table spaces. We have different set of table spaces. In the table spaces, we have a different set of tables. In the tables, we have different set of columns where the data will be entered. For example, I can say some accounting table. Accounting table is something which holds the account information about the consumers or the customer, whoever it is. Okay, so it would have the n number of columns, the limited number of columns, or limited number of columns, which comprises of account number, name of the customer, and then the loan account of the customer if the loan persists. Okay, if not, the column will be null. The column will be null for that specific event. So the table will be having the customer ID or the account information or the customer name, and the next one is the amount which is being maintained by the customer in the savings, and the next one is the amount that need to be paid by the customer for some any EMIs or whatever it is, that will be stored in different. And another thing will be having the customer mobile number or the customer address. Everything will be stored in the different columns of the specific table. So this table will be having some primary index, and that should not be a duplicate. That is account number. That is account number. If we're going to have the secondary index, then that may be considered, I mean, that may be comprised of the loan account or whatever it is. So we have the different set of functionalities that can be attained and be for the storing the information. So if I'm going to have a same account number, then it would be very critical that to which customer the account is, I mean, the amount is going to be debited or going to be credited. Okay, so we would find that uh, the primary index should be an unique key. That is, unique key means it should not have the duplicate entries. So usually each and every bank assign the account number as an primary key. I'm just saying this example for how the customer data is being stored in the table. So each column will be filled with its own information, that is customer table. And also some of the bank will store like different set of DBs for different set of application work. For savings, they will be having different applications. For loan or mortgages or EMIs, they will be having different set of tables. So it may depends upon the bank's functionality and how they are using the applications. Okay, and the other set of informations like the statement information for each and every customer will be stored in different tables. It all depends upon the functionality of the banking. Okay, so the table will be comprising of all these columns, and the columns which has to be assigned with some primary index or secondary index, whatever it is, it depends upon the requirement what you have. Okay, and the next thing is the tables will be stored in the table spaces. The table spaces will be available in the database, and the database will be there in the storage room. This is the common brief about the database and the DB2, how it is, the hierarchy of the uh, database. So if needed, we can go into the separate session. What are all the different kind of table spaces which is being used, and what are the different type of table that is being used. And for example, I can say if you're going to take the table space, we have a traditional table space and the universal table space. The universal table space, which contains only one table in the table space, and there will be an one database, and then there will be a different set of table spaces. In that specific table space, we have only one table, so that is universal table space. In that universal table space, uh, there are two kinds, that is partition by growth and partition by range. Mm, these are all the things which are very we can go in depth if you are going to study about the DBT. This is the overview which I can give for you. I doesn't want to go much in that sense because it will be a confusing thing for you to read a different session or completely different time, and I need some artifacts to show you how this works. So I doesn't want to go into this, but this is the overview how the database is used. The same way for Oracle, we have a different type of database. In the database, we have different service names. The service names will point to the different DB also, and we have different schemas. In the schemas, the data will be stored accordingly. And the schemas are nothing but they are all the users which is being assigned for that specific DB to all these things. So I hope this should be fine for now. If anything that you need to question me, you can question. And also, I just wanted to give you another information. I missed to say this. Sorry. If you're going to take the different technologies, we have. I said about the chain and then the data stage or data stage development or the ETL developer testing, etc. And also we have something called middleware team and as well as the Connect Direct team. Those are the team which used to connect the back end and as well as the front end. So we have a Java team for that to work on it. We have different sectors where the banking uses, and even there we have a different set of testers, developers, support teams to support the specific applications with respect to the technology what is going. In that, I have just explained you a very small part about the mainframe, and same way we have a different set of technologies which is being used. Um, in that mainframe, I have specified about the small thing which can be delivered for a lame person. And also, you would get a question that what is the differentiation if an art student or engineering student going to opt for this banking, how the work would be for them. So I can say like if someone going to be an engineering student or the arts and science student, who does the engineering or the BSc in computer science can easily opt for the programming side since because they do have the programming knowledge earlier. Even the company would suggest for that because they doesn't want to waste time on training the people to deliver them with the programming knowledge. So if someone has some knowledge about the programming, how it does work and how the output need to be happen, if they have the minimum amount of knowledge, they would go for that. And also, that is something in our the what is it, the professional area where the person has to be dropped into the specific areas where they expertise. So someone going to do MBA in marketing cannot be a programmer. They can be only a sales manager in the banking sector. That is going to work on the front end. It's going to be in some programmer, then we can work on the back end. Any programmer like a Python developer or Java developer or whatever it is, it's all different. So hope you can understand this. And as I said, we have other two main teams, that is the middleware team and the connector team. They used to transfer the file from one server to another server. Connectivity are being maintained by those connector teams. And also, I hope you would have come across the FTP process, that is the file transfer protocol, even and that is being maintained by the connector teams. That's it for now. Any queries, anything that you need to request or just need to say like I doesn't understand this thing and I just need to get clear on these areas. Anything that you have in your mind, you can raise up. And also, if you feel that this is not convincing answer for me and I feel this is not correct or whatever it is, you can just come up. I would try to explain you what it is.
Participants, if you have any queries, kindly ask. Mr. Manoj is ready to answer.
Anyone? If you feel like this is not like I need more thing about some areas or in general, if you have any queries like I need to know about this specific thing what we use in our day-to-day life has not been clear for me. If something like that also you can ask me. I will try to explain you if that is in my scope. I just need this to be an discussing session. I doesn't want you to bore by just showing the PPT or the presentation and saying that this is the thing I'm just sending back to you. I doesn't want to be in boring session. I just wish that it need to be an interactive session. Anyone?
Manoj, as you told that the security level is high in the case of banking sector, but when you come across news in the television channel daily, the theft is happening in the account, so on. So, where the real security has to be improved, in the customer side or in the banking sector side or in the coding side?
Okay. You would come across some text which will be delivered to your mobile stating that if anyone asks for your card number or CVV number or account number or whatever it is, if you are not disclosing your information to the third party, then until then you are safe. If you are going to disclose something or if your data is being leaked out to anyone, then it would be an issue, because we cannot
Okay.
say that the issue with the systems. But the thing is,
Oh,
like, if the system holds, I mean, if the system uh, for example, the system would require for so and so informations. Okay, for example, if you're going to make a transaction amount, okay, like you are getting something in Amazon or Flipkart or whatever it is, it would ask you to save the card, right?
okay.
Like if you're going to give the 16-digit number and the CVV number and the
Mm.
card expiry number, whatever it is, it will be just asking you and you will be giving the information. Okay. If someone is okay to hack your mobile, okay, by getting
Okay.
the OTP from your mobile, okay, and they are aware of your card details or accounting details, then these things can be alternative. Even we have a different set of teams called the fraudulent team, okay,
Mm. Mm.
security team, who always ensure that whether uh, the transaction which is being done is secured or whatever it is. So here we come across some real-time things called the Razor Pay, right? And then the
Okay.
eBay. These are all the platforms which we use for transaction, and I feel that they are secured, since because uh, we just having the platform, instead of getting the information directly given to the bank, we have the platform which will also have the firewall between the customer and as well as the banking. So even this firewall is broken, it can be locked down to the in between platform like the Razor Pay or Google Pay or whatever it is. It can be stopped over there, since because it will request you for a different set of informations to process your transaction. So even that is being failed, obviously we would get all these fraudulent things which is happening into life. Unless until we disclose our information to the third party, we are safe.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Mr. Manoj.
Thank you,
Manoj,
sir.
there is another question. What is the future of DBA?
Okay, I would
We
say
have
like,
few upcoming technology like cloud and all. So
yes,
what will be the
wherever,
future?
yes. Wherever we go, we need an storage area where we would need to store our data. Okay, whether it is in table format or whatever it is. As far as we consider for the security, okay, we'll be loading those data into these tables and then make them secure. Okay, so the thing is like, if you are going to work as an administrator, database administrator, whatever it is, wherever we are going to have any like insurance or banking or the small things like the Amazon Pay or whatever it is, they will be maintaining some uh, DBs to maintain the customer information and all those informations that to be maintained on retrieval and for the retrieval process. So unless until we have that like all these storing abilities in each and every company, there will be an opening for DB. As Varlakshmi or someone said, mm, if you're going to learn something about the querying, definitely you can survive in the market. If you know querying, you can survive in the
Any more questions? think there are no more questions. So, which means the participants have learned the back-end process of banking functions well.
And also, I would like to say that this is the um, all this process would differ from bank to bank. It depends upon the banking. How do we are working? These are all the common things. Okay, and that is
Okay.
being used by the most of the bank. And also, um, this flow will also differ from bank to bank. Depends upon the functionality and the funding what they are doing. Depends upon that also.
Okay, Manoj. You
Anything
explained
else?
everything well. And the role of big data and ETL, you were coherently explaining, Manoj, and also about mainframe. It was really
Okay.
amazing to hear. And thank you so much for your acceptance and sharing your knowledge on
Okay.
banking systems and database, Manoj. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, participants. We can join for tomorrow's, the last day's session. Thank you.